Hello, welcome back, or welcome if you're new. It's so good to see you today. I hope that you are well. My name is Vix and this is my channel, Goddess of Gore, where I like to talk about horror, thriller, fantasy and sci-fi books. Today I thought I would do a quick little tag video that I found. Let's just get this done, shall we? So this is the I Know What You Read Last Summer book tag, originally made by two Spanish-speaking booktubers, Evita Lecurita and Blue Rose Library. Both of those channels are linked below, along with both of their original videos. And this has a tagline of Final Girls, Villains, Series, Movies and More. Prompt number 1, Final Girl, a book with a strong female protagonist. I read a lot of books with strong females, whether that's just sheer luck or some kind of subliminal book choices. Probably the most common choice for this is Victoria from Nosferatu. I mean, she goes up against a pretty horrible child killer when she meets Charlie Manx, but my God, it is one of a hell of a long book. So if you want something a little shorter and a little lighter, I think Nettle and Bones Mara is a brilliant character too. Both of these are formidable women or girls who refuse to back down and die. Now, there is a big rainstorm just happening up in the loft here, so you get some free ASMR too. So book prompt number 2 is Popcorn, a book you couldn't put down or a book you couldn't stop reading. A book I didn't ever want to stop reading apart from maybe the ones I've read recently. It's got to be a thriller when you absolutely cannot do a single thing that will pull you out of the mood. Like, you get all pissy when somebody asks you if you want a cup of tea, and it's probably going to be something like The Girl on a Train. I adored that book when it came out. This was one of the first books I really couldn't fall asleep until I had finished it. I had to know what was going on, and it's such a great book. If you haven't watched the film yet, I completely recommend this book. It's about a woman who gets kind of absorbed by her own imagination when she sees a family out of the window on the train on her commute every day. But when she sees something untoward happening, she kind of takes matters into her own hands. And it's full of twists and turns and swirls and ups and downs, and it's just brilliant. I can't record in this noise. Prompt number 3, a ticket. Name a book that introduced you to your genre. Lois Duncan's A Stranger with My Face. I must have borrowed that book out of my tiny little library when I was a kid 8 million times. Now, bearing in mind that I left that district and that little library when I was in second year senior, so I would have been about 12 or 13. So it was before that I was reading this book over and over and over again. And the cover was so unsettling to me. Like, if this book made me pretty scared of mirrors, and I was always worried that my reflection would be different to my actual face. So this is about a girl who discovers that she can astrally project, as in she can leave her physical body and go and travel to other places unseen. But obviously she leaves her body empty, meaning that anybody else astrally projecting can jump in and walk around in her meat suit too. But what if they don't want to leave? Yeah, body squatters. It was, and maybe still is, a delightful book for young adults. And did I say that this cover was terrifying? Prompt number 4. Now, this prompt kind of got translated a little bit wrong, so it's got a 3 for 1 in this. So what I thought it was name a book that has the best adaptation, and that was Jaws by Peter Benchley. This book is okay, but it does go in a kind of wild, weird direction that I didn't like. So up until The Strange Affair, it is so good, but that part of the book ruined it for me. But that film, how can you fault that genius film? And then I kind of thought maybe it meant that name a film that has a better sequel, and that has to be Exorcist 3, hands down. I am completely scared of statues because of that freaking film. And people crawling on ceilings, that's just wrong and unfair and shouldn't be allowed in films. I won't hear any other answer to this sequel being better than the original. But then the proper question was outdoor cinema. Name a scary movie that you recommend. So for that one, I recommend The Orphan. I love foreign cinema. It is just so good, whether it's being absorbed in the subtitles or just non-English speaking horror makers are better at it than English speakers. I don't know the correct answer to that one, but East Asian horror, Euro horror, South American horror, the Oceanias, it's just so much scarier. They do dread better, and quiet horror is what I love. The Orphan, it is so sad and so scary. However, if you do want an English-speaking horror, it's got to be my long-standing favourite, the very cosy American Werewolf in London. This film has it all. Monsters, humour, sex and gore, and still has the best monster transformation scene that you will ever see on film. Problem number 5, the movie. A movie that you are too scared to see. Now, I hate to watch films with jump scares that aren't scares. Like, really, the silence, crash is my most hated trope, just because by the time the film's finished, I am bloody knackered. It's just all the time. That stuff will just wear you out. So, big examples of that were films like Sinister and Annabelle's and The Nuns. And without the jumps, they're absolutely shockingly bad films. And I literally get the piss taken out of me because I jump so much. So if I watch a trailer and there's a jump, you can forget it. I'm not spending the next few weeks after watching it being ridiculed. Every time the film is discussed, like, ha, she jumped about 1,000,000 times all the way through it, didn't you? Oh, were you scared? So I'm scared to watch films like that, but not because they're scary. I really can't think of a film I'm scared to watch, except maybe I'm a bit scared to watch the new Indiana Jones film because it might be really bad. So I'm someone who kind of likes to be scared, so if a film scares me, it's done a really good job. Prompt number 6, summer loving, a book you recommend for the summer. And for this I have a few recommendations. If you want a book that is as hot and sweaty as the summer, then you should read The Children of Red Peak by Craig DeLuey. That is one hell of a sticky, dusty book. You want a beach read? It's got to be Jaws by Peter Benchley again. Just skip over the affair scene. It takes what you think the book is about and changes it because you get the point of view from the shark too. And then a book to cool you down, Dark Matter by Michelle Paver. Yes, I went for the quicker read. And then a slasher, because I always think of slashers for the summer, and that has to be Camp Slaughter by Sergio Gomez. Those would be the classic books that I would take on holiday with me to the seaside. Prompt number 7, Scythe Assassin, a villain you'd like to interview. And I honestly couldn't think of a single villain that annoyed me enough. So after a good think, I was thinking maybe somebody like Patrick Bateman. I really don't want to know why he killed so many people. I just want to know how long it took to tidy up afterwards. So, Patrick, did you anticipate so much cleaning up? Like, there's so much mess. Not just the blood, there's the other body, sticky, messy stuff too. Didn't think about it, did you? Prompt number 8, the group of friends. Name a worst friend group. Tell Me I'm Worthless by Alison Rumfitt. The group of friends that go into the house and the horrible things in particular that Alice and Isla do to each other. I tried to think of a friend that let you down or sold you out, but I couldn't think of any books off the top of my head. But maybe The Fisherman too. I mean, doesn't one of the characters in that kind of set up his fishing buddy to rope him in for his own needs? I don't know. Prompt number 9, end of course, your last DNF. Now, I really try not to DNF books, but the last book I actually put back on my pile was Light from Uncommon Stars by Rika Aoka. It's so well loved by so many other booktubers that I will probably pull it back off my shelf eventually. Prompt number 10, Summer Party, a book with the worst party. So although it's not an actual party, I imagine the Donna party was pretty crap. So The Hunger by Alma Katsu could fit this prompt. It is basically an interesting horror take on the real life event of the Donna party. Prompt number 11, we have a secret, a character who talks too much. Now, I'm not 100% sure about my answer on this one, but I'm going with a gut feeling that there was a gossiper in the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. In that, I thought there was maybe somebody who blabbed a little bit too much to their husband about what they were actually up to, but I'm not sure, so I definitely need to read more domestic thrillers and rich people's drama for all the gossiping, I guess. Prompt number 12, Cabin in the Woods. The scariest or best setting for a horror book. And I think somewhere vulnerable is always the best setting for a horror. So urban horror is a particularly good one for me. Obviously haunted houses and gothic mansions, that sort of thing, it's always expected, isn't it? But when it's a home invasion or a modern building or even hospitals, I think maybe new homes are a great setting for a horror. Or maybe an object that's always a good one, like Blanky by Keelan Patrick Burke. I really enjoyed that book about a blanket bought by expectant parents for their new baby, and that is a really good book and a very quick read. So yeah, something like Cursed Objects that aren't some ancient medallion or a creepy old painting, because when it's things like that I always think, well, like, what did you expect? And then it's not really scary anymore, is it? Prompt number 13, a book that has traumatized you. And this one, I really don't know whether to pick something like House of Leaves, which I really don't want to read, but I also really do want to read. It literally winks at me every time I see it on my bookshelf. But that really taunts me rather than haunts me. But I think maybe something that spooked me recently was Naomi's Room. The paranormal in that book really creeped me out. But honestly, the best thing about not having a very good memory is that books don't tend to traumatise me very much. They don't hang around and linger, giving me the spooks in the middle of the night. But anyway, so that is it. If you want to do this tag, then please consider yourself tagged. But I would like to tag Crystal from Fibre Artsy because she tags me so much, and I think Leslie from the Nerdy Narrative, I think she would really like this one. And maybe either Sean or Bert would like to do this from Past Story Time. Heather from Soggy Expat, I think that she would really like this one too. And someone I don't see doing tags but I would like to tag her is Michelle from Michelle's Melancholia. But I want everyone to do this tag. It was such a lot of fun, and I don't think I've seen many people doing this. As I say, it is made up by 2 non-English speakers, so it hasn't been doing the rounds and hasn't been as widely loved as it should be. Obviously, you can translate prompt number 4 however you see fit, or just make up any old translation of it as you want, like I did. But as ever, thank you so much for being here with me today. It really does mean so much that you are. Don't forget to like it if you did, and subscribe if you want to hang around for a little bit longer. Make some good book choices this week, my friends, and I hope to see you all again soon. Until next time, bye-bye.